this is Jacob Isaacson with WGTV, and I'm here with.
Mr. Jansen.
And I just have a few quick questions for you. So, what exactly is robotics?
Robotics is a club and a team, competitive team, where we build a robot, a big 120-pound robot, sort of like a remote control car, but with all kinds of extra pieces. We can put an arm on there, we can put a lift. We use some really high-powered motors, 10 to 12 motors that are about as powerful as a power drill each. So lots of power, runs off a motorcycle battery. Lots of fun. We build a different robot every year because we have a different challenge every year. They change the game slightly every year. But the way the game is played is kind of like a sport, but made up just for robots. So 3 robots versus 3 robots on a field that's about the size of a basketball court. And they'll be manipulating different pieces. Could be different objects every year. Could be an oversized dodgeball. It could be little wiffle balls. It could be something more like a frisbee or more like a milk crate with a piece of cloth over it. But the robots will have to pick those up and put them in designated places to score points. It's really exciting. They put on a big show. And it's really fun to watch. There's lots of excitement, and lots of students do this all throughout the world. There's like over 10,000 teams that all compete in the same league.
Wow, that sounds very cool. And as I know, I'm a part of robotics, but I know a lot of people wouldn't know who the coaches are. So who exactly are all the coaches on robotics?
Right, so there's 2 coaches. I'm Mr. Jansen. My classroom is room D5, and I teach computer science classes here. The other coach is Jessica Steinmeier. Mrs. Steinmeier teaches at Maple Park Middle School, and so she teaches engineering PLTW classes there. So lots of people here know her already.
And for anybody actually interested in joining robotics, where do you guys meet, and when do you guys start?
We meet in room E8 after school every day during the build season. If you want to join, you have to join in the fall, like other sports. We go through kind of like a tryout process, which is mostly training, more training than tryouts, but you got to come to the practices. Those are once a week, and then you have to learn all the prerequisite skills. We give you a checklist, and we teach you everything that you need to know to be on the team. So you will see flyers get put up next year in October, November, notifying everyone when the first practice will be. We have a couple of recruiting meetings during club times. But yeah, anytime you can come by my room D5, if you have questions, and I can answer anything.
And like during the normal school day, how would robotics operate?
During a normal school day, robotics just meets after school, like a sport, right after school up until about 4:30. We go a little bit later when we get closer to competitions, but just after school, kind of like a sport. And then we do 2 major tournaments for our competitions. These are multi-day events. You have to miss a couple days of school to participate. One event is just for varsity, where we travel. But those are when we compete with the other teams and get all the excitement going and try to win.
Well, I wanted to know a bit more about the people that set up the tournament. How exactly, or who is it that sets it up, and how is it set up?
Oh, good question. There are a lot of local volunteers. There are some full-time staff too, but mostly a lot of who you'll see running those tournaments are volunteers. There's a lot of equipment at the tournaments. There's lights, there's sound. The field runs itself. So, for example, if you need to put a ball into a goal, there will be a trigger inside that goal that will check the color of the ball, that will count how many balls are going in. Just using that as a scoring example. Like I said, there could be lots of different ways to score depending on the game. So the field runs itself. It's automatic. It has some large components. Most years, robots need to try to climb and lift themselves up off the ground at some point near the end of the match. So the field has to be built to support the weight of up to 6 robots climbing. So it's a lot of metal, and it has to be constructed in a way that's safe, that keeps all the spectators safe, and stops the robots from getting damaged, damaging themselves or the other robots. And I should say that because people always ask. These robots do not try to damage each other. It is not BattleBots. I know that's fun to watch too, but then sad and expensive because things break. We try not to break things in this robotics competition.
Is there any other last words you'd like to tell, like bits of information that you'd like people to know?
Let me think. Robotics. What do they say about robotics? Robotics is the hardest fun you'll ever have.
I definitely know that one firsthand. Well, this has been Jacob Isaacson with,
Mr. Jansen.
and I hope to see you at Robotics next year. Have a nice day.